If you're watching this, it means one of two things. Either you're a responsible, forward-thinking adult who takes preparedness seriously, or you just saw the news this morning and now you're spiraling. Either way, welcome. You're in the right place. Look, I'm not here to scare you. The world is doing a perfectly fine job of that on its own. But here's the problem. Most people respond to rising global tensions in one of two ways. They either panic and spiral, doom scrolling at 2 a.m., mentally drafting goodbye speeches of rumors posted by accounts with no profile picture, or they say relax, nothing ever happens, and do absolutely nothing to strengthen their position. Both reactions are weak, and honestly, both get people hurt. The smart move is not fear, it's preparation. Not dramatic preparation, not bunker building, not canned beans wallpaper in your basement, just intelligent positioning. And look, before we go any further, if you found this video, you're already ahead of most people. Seriously, while others are either spiraling or sleepwalking, you are here, actually trying to think. So do yourself a favor, hit subscribe, drop a like, and leave a comment. Doesn't have to be deep, even just here works. It tells me you're one of the ones paying attention, and those are exactly the people this channel is built for. Now, your goal if things get weird is simple. Be the last bro standing. Calm, supplied, financially stable, mentally sharp. Here are 5 things to do right now, and how to do them properly without losing your mind or turning into a conspiracy theorist. Let's start with securing your essentials before it goes mainstream. When most people imagine war escalation, they picture explosions and chaos. Hollywood trained us well. But the first real impact is almost always much quieter than that. Supply chains slow down, fuel prices spike, imported goods get delayed, sanctions disrupt trade routes, and suddenly the normal rhythm of daily life becomes slightly unstable. Certain products get harder to find, prices creep upward, delivery times stretch longer. It doesn't look like a war movie, it looks like a frustrating Tuesday at the grocery store. So here's the move. Build a 2 to 3 week buffer of essentials. Drinking water for everyone in your household, non-perishable food that you actually eat, not survival rations that taste like cardboard and regret. If you rely on prescription medication, get a safe buffer stocked now. Basic first aid supplies, batteries, flashlights, and hygiene items, because chaos is already bad enough without running out of toilet paper. This is not panic buying. You do not sprint into a store like it's a game show challenge. You stack gradually, a little extra each shopping trip, quiet and consistent. If nothing major happens, you rotate through it, nothing wasted. But if something does happen, you are already ahead of 90% of people before the situation even fully develops. That physical stability is your foundation, and once you have that, you need to protect what sits on top, starting with your ability to think straight. Which brings us to the next step. You need to control your information environment. Here's what happens the moment global tensions rise. Misinformation spreads faster than facts. Old videos get reposted as current events. Random accounts claim insider knowledge. Every dramatic clip becomes definitive proof of something catastrophic, and your algorithm, designed specifically to keep you anxious and scrolling, serves you more of it on a loop forever. Your brain is not built to process constant crisis signals. If you let Twitter dictate your emotional state, you will burn out fast. And a burned out, anxious person makes terrible decisions. That is not an opinion, that is biology. So here's the discipline. Choose 2 or 3 reliable news sources and check them at specific scheduled times. Not constantly, not every 20 minutes. Turn off non-essential breaking news alerts. Spend less time on Facebook. Stop refreshing social feeds looking for confirmation of fears you don't even fully understand yet. And here's the practical layer most people overlook. Download offline maps of your local area right now. Write down key phone numbers, not just saved in your phone, physically written down. Store digital copies of important documents like your ID, insurance, and financial records somewhere secure and accessible. If networks get unstable, even temporarily, you won't be scrambling for things you should have sorted already. Information discipline protects your clarity, and clarity is what makes everything else on this list actually work. Next up is to strengthen your financial resilience, because when global tensions escalate, markets don't wait. They react immediately and emotionally. Currencies fluctuate, energy prices climb, imports get expensive, industries freeze hiring overnight, businesses tighten spending, and if you're already financially stretched thin going into that environment, uncertainty stops feeling manageable and starts feeling suffocating. You need margin. That's the word, margin. Build or reinforce an emergency fund. Even 1 to 3 months of living expenses creates genuine breathing room, enough to absorb shocks without being pushed into desperate decisions. Cut unnecessary expenses and be honest with yourself. Netflix, Hulu, or whatever subscription you don't need. If you're paying for subscriptions you barely touch while carrying no financial cushion, that's not a budgeting problem, that's a priorities problem. What also comes handy is keeping some cash, actual physical money you can reach without depending on a banking system that might be moving slower than usual, and stay far away from high-risk speculation when fear is high. Bad financial advice multiplies in exactly those moments. Everyone suddenly has a tip, a coin, a trade that's about to explode. Most of them are wrong. In a volatile market, being wrong is expensive. Stability is the objective, not gains. If fuel prices spike or groceries jump 20%, you want to adjust smoothly, not panic. That financial cushion is what keeps your options open when the people around you are running out of them. Speaking of people, you need to build your local network. Global tension is abstract, but disruption becomes local very fast. When supply chains strain or services slow down, your immediate environment matters more than anything happening on the world stage. So let me ask directly, do you actually know your neighbors? Do you have at least one person nearby you could call if something went sideways tonight? You don't need a survival militia, just functional human relationships. Introduce yourself, exchange numbers with someone trustworthy close by, know who has medical knowledge, useful equipment, or works in essential services. These things feel trivial right now, they become significant fast when you actually need them. Community is force multiplication. That's not a motivational poster phrase, it's just how humans have survived every major disruption in history. Isolation increases vulnerability. And here's the practical reality. It's far better to coordinate with people you already know and trust than to try introducing yourself mid-crisis while asking for help. That conversation lands very differently when it's not the first one you've ever had. Building strong local ties also give you something no supply list or savings account can fully replace: psychological security. Knowing you're not alone in an uncertain situation is genuinely stabilizing. Which leads into the final layer, and this one holds everything else together. Train your mindset, and this is very important. Escalating global tensions is psychological before it's physical. Fear spreads through screens first. If you allow constant exposure to alarming content, your stress hormones stay elevated, your sleep suffers, your thinking narrows, and you gradually lose the one thing that keeps you functional in uncertain times: your clarity. The low hum we talked about at the very start of this video isn't coming from the world around you. It's coming from Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and if you don't manage that deliberately, it manages you. Get your calm under control. Scheduled news windows, not constant exposure. Maintain your routine. Routine is an underrated stabilizer when everything feels unpredictable. Exercise regularly because physical activity resets your stress response in ways nothing else can match. Sleep properly. Lack of sleep doesn't just make you tired, it amplifies anxiety, distorts your judgment, and lets you make stupid decisions. Understand this clearly. Most global conflicts do not begin with immediate, widespread chaos for civilians. They unfold in phases: economic pressure, policy changes, trade restrictions, travel limitations. The people who navigate those phases best are not the most dramatic, they are the most stable. The ones who kept their heads clear, the ones who prepared quietly while everyone else was either panicking or pretending nothing was happening. The ones who make it through aren't the loudest, the most stocked, or the most online. They're the most composed, and composure is a choice you make before the chaos arrives, not during it. Here's what's important to hold on to. Preparation does not mean you believe disaster is guaranteed. It means you respect uncertainty. If tensions cool and nothing major happens, you still win. Better financial habits, extra supplies, stronger community connections, sharper mental discipline. There is no downside to readiness. There is only a downside to ignoring the warning signs entirely and hoping for the best because things usually work out. So ask yourself honestly, if global tensions escalated significantly in the next 60 days, would you feel prepared or exposed? Would you be scrambling while others stay calm? Would you be glued to your phone while others are already adjusting? Subscribe if you want more grounded strategic breakdowns that help you think clearly when everything around you is getting loud. Stay sharp, stay calm.